The Lemon Squeeze Show is here to inspire, empower, and illuminate women around the globe. As entrepreneurs, role models, warriors, the glue that holds families together, trendsetters, career women, and mothers of the earth, we face obstacles daily. We conquer the inevitable. We persevere beyond measure. And we flourish unapologetically. It's a fact that life will bring you lemons. It's a choice for you to make lemonade. Welcome to the Lemon Squeeze Show. That's what JoJo knows.
We didn't do our high five.
Hi, everyone. It's your girl, your host, JoJo Knows.
Yes, and it is your co-host, Constance B.
And you are tuned into the Lemon Squeeze Show.
Yes, I'm so happy to be back.
Yes.
If
y'all didn't know, we were still here.
Yes. But it feels so good to be back and inside of the studio and next to you and next to our wonderful producers.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm excited.
I'm super
especially
excited
about today's show.
Right. Me too, because we have a special guest, Dr. Shiela D. Williams in the house. And so I'm excited to bring her on. So how have you been since we've been off?
I've been great. I've been really wonderful. It's sometimes, you know, we have those breaks in between whatever it is that you have going on in your life. And then it's so amazing because you go through different things and you grow a little bit more than what you were before, mentally, emotionally, and then
spiritually.
It's been a lot of different great things that's been happening inside of me. So I'm happy. How about yourself?
I'm happy too, but I'm sad, but I'm happy.
You know,
it's just like what was it last week? Just, you know, I'm always transparent with everyone, and so I went for my physical, which I'm like the hard-headed woman who I've always felt. And so, ladies, listen up. That as long as the hoo-ha is good, like that's my physical, you know. So the gynecologist is like, everything smoking down there, girl. You know, I've never been the one to go and get that annual physical where they're checking your ears and your tongue and your eyes and all that stuff. Now, I do have an eye doctor and all that great stuff, but the annual physical is just not me. I go to the doctor when I feel like I'm having the flu or, you know, if your back is hurting, but just the annual physical, I didn't do. And so I ended up doing it this year because I vowed, okay, you're going to get your physical. You know, you're 33. And I actually went and was diagnosed with high blood pressure. And so it was very, very scary for me. You know, my mother has high blood pressure. My grandmother, who we've discussed, who passed away, high blood pressure is what burst her blood vessel. And so it was really a huge fear for me. It still is. And so when I say, that's, you know, where I'm at, what I'm going through. And so I'm just in the process of changing my diet, exercising, doing things because I don't want to be on medication for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
And so I say that to say to all you ladies, like, get your physicals. It's really important. I'm that stubborn girl too, but they're out there for a reason. So make sure you stay on top of your health because for me, everyone's like, oh, you're stressed out. You're stressed out. Stop stressing. But I wasn't stressed out. You know, I just bought a house. We started this show and, you know, I went through some trials and tribulations with my grandpa, my grandma, but I'm in a happy place.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't tell me I'm stressed, but my body is, and I didn't even know it. And so for that, ladies, make sure you get checked out. It's not all about the gynecologist, the coochie doctor. You know, you got to go to the normal doctor too. And so I just want to throw that out there, ladies.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And opening up and being transparent about that.
You know, I have to be.
And it's good that you talk about it and, you know, be open about it. And that way, like you said, you find out something like that. And then the next step is to start figuring out, okay, what can I do to better myself? Do I have to change the way I'm eating? Do I need to change, you know, how much I'm working? Because sometimes, you know, with us women, we really feel like, I know me, you're a superwoman. You can do it all. Take care of the kids, work 12, 15 hours.
Go to school. Chase your dreams.
Start your business.
Yes.
Then you're trying to find love. And then you forget all about taking care of self.
You don't even know what it feels like because I tell you this. My pressure was high every single day last week. And so it finally dropped on Friday. And I woke up that morning and I felt like a new person. And the crazy part was how I've been feeling for the last years, I thought was normal. And so now it's like, oh my goodness, it's like a new body. Like I feel free. I feel light. I feel, you know, it's just, it's just crazy. It's surreal to know that, wow, like I've been in this dying body and taking years off my life and didn't even know it. And so now I'm going to get ahead of that thing. And,
Conquer it.
what? One day I'm
Yes.
going to walk in and be like, you don't even have it no more, girl.
Amen.
Like,
Yes. That's
So,
what's going to happen.
and yes. And you're in
We're
the health
pulling
field.
that into
So,
existence. That's what's going to happen.
yes, I claim it. I remember when, and we can go on because we got Dr. Sheila
Yes.
probably like, hello. We might as well turn her up, in case she has something to say. But like, I remember when I was like terrified last week and I thought about my grandfather and he said, whenever you worry, stop and just like look to God.
Exactly.
And as soon as I was able to do that and remember him going through that cancer and seeing it like coming through his body, his pores and his skin, like I was restored. And
Good.
from then I've been fighting. So
Good. Well, we're going to continue to be happy for you and push and pray for you.
amen.
Yes.
So Dr. Sheila, should I call you
Yes,
Dr.
I'm
Sheila,
here.
Dr. Williams? Which one is okay?
Oh, either one, either one. A lot of people, I go by my full name, Dr. Shiela D. Williams, but no, it's totally fine. Some people just call me Dr. Sheila, so either or
Okay.
is fine with me.
Well, good. I'm comfortable with Dr. Sheila.
Me too. I like it. Got
I
like
like
right
it.
into it. Dr. Sheila.
It's much shorter. Thank you.
Well, we thank you so much for being here on the Lemon Squeeze Show here at WPSN99.com.
Yes.
We are super excited, and I know in a little while we're going to share more about, who you are and what you're doing in the community because you have so much going on. But first, let's talk about today's topic, which I know is really a movement for you, which is depression.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's something that in our communities, especially, just say it, Black folks don't like to talk about depression. It's almost like you're allergic
or any
to it.
mental illness
Right.
like that.
Yes.
But because we're on this topic, definitely, yes.
So, Dr.
Yes.
Sheila, depression, tell us about it. For our viewers, could you give us a description of what is depression just for them to hear? Because some people don't even understand what depression is.
Okay, for sure. First of all, I want to say thank you thank you both for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here. Depression, mental illness itself resonates very closely to my heart. First and foremost, I do have a background in mental health. I started out with my bachelor's degree in psychology and then my master's degree is in mental health counseling. My doctorate degree, I decided not to get in that field. I got my doctorate degree in leadership and in education. But through not only my professional experience, but also personally, my mother struggled with an undiagnosed and misdiagnosed mental illness for 20 plus years of my life. She perhaps was diagnosed. She perhaps had depression. She perhaps had her mental illness long before I was ever born. But for 20 plus years of my life, her diagnosis did not come. So we did not know as a child. I did not know what was wrong with my mom, my father, my family. We didn't know what was wrong. We just knew that she was very different. And her appropriate, correct diagnosis didn't come until I had already graduated with my bachelor's degree in psychology. And then, later on, because of that, I decided to go on and get my master's degree in mental health counseling. But so for those two reasons, both the professional and the personal, it is very near and dear to my heart. And as you stated before, in the African American community, we do not talk about it. We don't talk about mental illness very much at all in the African American community, especially when it comes to depression, particularly with depression, because most people think about it as just being, oh, I'm sad or I'm not happy with something that's going on in my life. Depression is much more profound than that. It can be very different from individual to individual, but generally speaking, it is the inability to perform daily responsibilities, carry out, job-related responsibilities, relationship responsibilities. Your interactions from day to day are affected in a negative way, that you're not productive. The way in which you behave is not the way that you normally behave. So you may take an individual, say, for instance, my mother. When you think about most mothers that have a 5, 6, 7 year old, they are cooking for the child. They make sure that the child is dressed appropriately. They make sure that the child has the food and whatever else that they need in order to attend school. But by the time I was 7 or 8 years old, my mother started to, not do these things that a typical mother would do for a child. So I found myself doing these things for myself at a very early age. By the time I was 10 years old, I had already learned how to drive a car. I wasn't supposed to be driving a car, but I had already learned how to drive a car. I was preparing my own meals most of the time. I was cleaning. I was dressing myself, combing my own hair, doing my own laundry at 10 years old. So that was because she was not able to do it. So a lot of times when it comes to depression, it manifests itself as a physical ailment. So with my mother, she often complained of stomach ache, headache, backache, not being able to get out of bed because she said she didn't feel good, but she couldn't really explain what that meant. So her day-to-day responsibilities, her day-to-day interactions with not only people outside of the family, but people within the family, she wasn't able to do that. It wasn't necessarily that she didn't want to do it. It was because mentally, because of the clinical depression, it's a constant state of sadness. And her ability to interact with others, her ability to be social, to be active, it was most of the time not present. Our home was very dark. She kept the blinds closed pretty much all the time. And, it was just very quiet. She was in that depressive state pretty much day in and day out. Unless, she did have some good days. Don't get me wrong. But for the majority of the time, this is, these are the behaviors that we saw. And then for those, and then for some people, it can be very debilitating for them. And they start to have thoughts of suicide. And, thank God my mother never attempted suicide. I don't believe she ever had thoughts of suicide, but this is something that is very serious. We have to always remember the statistics that 1 in 4 individuals will experience some form of mental illness at some point in our lives. And that includes depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, you name it, anxiety disorders, personality disorders. There's so many.
And you know what?
We have to realize.
Dr. Sheila, just not to cut you off, but that
Mm-hmm.
statement that you just said, you're on the air with us. We have Louis here, our producer, Constance B, and myself. And so that's 4 right there. And so when you think of it like that, like 1 out of 4, out of us 4, or, 4 people in the room.
Right.
It ain't me.
Amen.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like just thinking about that, like, wow, it's surreal. Like it's such a small, number. Like
Right.
Wow.
Exactly. 1 in 4, not 1 in 10, but 1 in 4.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that tells me, and what happens is it doesn't necessarily mean that individual will experience that mental illness for the rest of their lives.
Right.
It means that at some point in your life, and, and as you are very transparent, I am as well. There were times in my life, and I'm very candid and very open about getting mental health counseling. Obviously, having a mother that had a mental illness, I am a very strong proponent of mental health. Just as you mentioned earlier, going to see your primary care physician and being diagnosed with high blood pressure,
Right.
we should be getting wellness checks as well. We should be speaking very candidly with our primary care physician about our emotional well-being as well. And then from there, our primary care physician can discern whether or not he or she needs to refer you to a mental health professional. So just as we get checked for high blood pressure, or we have a wellness check when it comes to having a mammogram or having a pap smear, as women do, and men have prostate exams or whatever, we need to make sure that we have wellness checks when it comes to our mental health also.
Absolutely. And just being transparent, I know that there were times like in the seasons of my life where like I was busting down the door of depression, in the midst of what I was going through. And so you are so true, and I'm so thankful that I was able to persevere, when I was going through those struggles. But depression is real, and we have to get real with ourselves to be able, I would say, like, look at the woman in the mirror, look at the man in the mirror, because no one knows you like you know yourself. And so you have to be honest. A lot, the society we live in is very, superficial. But when it comes to you, when you're home at night and you're not on Instagram and you're not doing a filter and all that stuff, you have to get real with how you're feeling and how you're doing on the inside.
Yes.
And if you're not okay, you have to do something about it. Constance, I was going to ask you.
I love how you said that, and not putting a filter on it, because that is what where we are now, in our lives. Everything is filtered, but you can't filter the emotions, and you can't filter what you're going through mentally. There's no filter for that. You can't pick up your iPhone or your phone and then go to the prettiest filter. No, you really have to deal with that. And so I guess after we come back from our break and talk a bit more, we can share our own personal experience.
Deeper.
Yeah, because I want to hear some more about you, and want to tell some about myself, and really get it out there on how we got over depression.
Absolutely. And
because it comes it flares up, right?
Right. What Dr. Shiela, going through that as a child, what was that push, for you to just persevere to become the woman that you are today? I think that it speaks volumes for all three of us. And I know our listeners want to hear. And so when we get back, you all, stay tuned. You're tuned into the Lemon Squeeze Show here at WPSN99.com. We are the Problem Solving Network.
Yes.
And I'm your host, JoJo Knows.
And I am your co-host, Constance B.
And we have a special guest here today with us, Dr. Shiela D. Williams.
Yes.
We'll be right back, y'all. Hello. And we are back to the Lemon Squeeze Show here at WPSN99.com. And I am your host, JoJo Knows.
And I am your co-host, Constance B.
And for the first time, you guys, I'm so excited today. We have a special guest on the air, Dr. Shiela D. Williams.
Yes.
I know, we need some
It almost sounds like Billy D. Williams.
Thank you.
Yes, and if you weren't tuned into the first part, you're going to have to listen again. But just to get you caught up, we're talking about depression, the thing that we do not want to talk about, the thing that we don't want our homegirls to know, that we are in our feelings beyond belief, and we are stuck in a rut, and things are just going bad. We want the world to think everything is great, so we put these filters on. But we got to stop doing that, because depression is killing us. It's killing so many people. Not just suicide, but for our dreams. For those of y'all who have these dreams and admirations, and then you're struggling with this depression, you will never get to the other side until you deal with your depression.
That's so true.
And we were just getting into the nitty-gritty of our own truths in regards to depression. You want to start, Constance B? Have you experienced depression?
Oh, yes, I have.
We never talked about it. So
Right. I have. And it's not something that we spoke about in our home. That wasn't something that, in any family member's house that I've ever gone to. It wasn't a discussion that, we talk about so much: hair, nails, makeup, or our clothes, or how the kids doing. But to really sit down and just say, Mom, how are you?
Yes.
How are you? Seriously, how are you? Or, sister, how are you? Really, or auntie or grandma or uncle, because men go through the same thing, brother, dad.
Exactly. Which is even a bigger struggle for men.
Right. Because it shows so much. It's like a breakdown of this is really who
they
I
have to
am.
Be strong and tough.
Right.
And,
Yeah. So I definitely experienced it. I experienced it growing up with my father. That was the start of it, dealing with him and, his drug addictions and the different things that he was going through. Watching him suffer with HIV, and, that at 10 years old really started to hit me then, but I didn't know it. And so growing up as a teen, running away from home, started having sex early, all those different things that I was trying to feel. I didn't know that I was depressed. That's a child. You don't know that that's what you're experiencing. And my mom, she's seen the different things and was going through these different things with me, but because she wasn't aware of, maybe she's experiencing,
she's not just hot in the pants right now.
What is she acting out, or is she depressed? What's going on with her? Let me take her to a professional and see if they might figure out what's going on with her.
I just want to pause right there, because I think that is something that we need to put out there for all you parents. When your children are being promiscuous and they are searching for love in all the wrong places, it's not just because like they've gotten puberty at an excessive level and they're just horny as can be. There is something wrong. There is something wrong on the inside that child is going through and searching for. There's a void they're trying to fill.
And that was me. That was definitely me. And so going as a teenager, then hitting a teenager, instead of me dealing with the things I needed to deal with, because I didn't know it was something really wrong. I just was, like you say, searching and moving real fast and just, like I call it, putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. Oh, this happened. Let me just cover that up. Let me just cover. So I got so good.
Right.
And so I just couldn't take it anymore. And I just broke down and just actually started talking to other people. And it, from actually my pastor's wife was the first woman that I opened up to about, feeling it was something wrong. It wasn't my mother. It wasn't, an auntie or, godmom.
It was a stranger.
It was. And she sat me down.
Listen up, y'all. It's a stranger.
It was a stranger. And she sat me down, long story short, and just started telling me how I could showing me different ways to handle and deal with certain things. So and I guess we can share the different ways shortly, but those were different things, and that's what actually led to me writing my book, because I needed a way to get it all out,
right?
And be very transparent without anyone else judging me. I wanted to first deal with it myself.
That's a beautiful thing. I can say the same. My book was actually a healing process for myself. Mm-hmm. So Can You Handle Your Truth is something that I actually went through step by step. Every single chapter I had to do within in order for me to get to the other side. I had to handle my truth, and that was my friends. That was my relationships. That was the men I dealt with. That was my daddy issues. And so everything in that book is exactly, the process. And so I really feel you on that. And, wow.
Yeah.
I just want to add, since we're on the teenage part, and I'm stuttering because I'm just so excited here. When my father died, because, I've shared about my sexual abuse with my father and all that, I was good until he actually passed away. Wow. And then that's when I declined. Like, I made straight A's up until the day he died and went from straight A's to straight F's. And got into a really depression. When he went missing was when I lost my virginity. That's when I started having sex. And by 16, I was pregnant, having a baby. Wow. And so I was extremely depressed. My mother sent me to counseling. I didn't want to talk to anyone. And that's something important for us to talk about, too, because you have to be open, and I wasn't open. I remember there was one, I don't know if she was a psychologist or a counselor at the time. And my mother was like, because we had the stigma, which I think I'm going to bring that Sheila in about that. Like, which is, I don't know if it was her culture or whatever, but she was like scolding the psychiatrist, like, you better not hypnotize my daughter. and it literally, it's funny now as I think back, but she really tried to hypnotize me in this session. So I'm thinking she's a psychologist, I don't know. And so what ends up happening is I end up playing with her. Like, okay, she's trying to, like, hypnotize me. Let's play this game, And, wow. Like, I didn't get anything out of it at that time. But later on, as an adult, I went through therapy again. I've gone through grief therapy, to deal with my losses and stuff like that. And that is what really healed or started the healing process of my wounds. And I think the biggest part of it, because I also had different times of depression along the way, like in my 20s and my teens and things like that, but just understanding that the healing process and those wounds and the things that you've experienced are always there. And there are certain things that are going to trigger what you've been through, or, or the mind, as you experience life, and you have to be prepared for them. That's why you have to be and remain in a healthy place.
Right.
Because you're not the same old perfect baby that was born. You're wounded. And, even though you're
the people,
you have those scars, But some things like trigger those scars, like somebody who gets shot. And, when the weather is bad, they go to aching.
Right.
So Dr. Sheila, we've said so much, so I don't know where you want to chime in at, but like, we want to hear from you.
Yes, yes, I concur with everything that you have said. I think that, well, I know that the first step in the healing process is to admit to yourself that you have something that's not right. You have something that you need to work on, that you're not whole, that you're hurting, that you're not the person you used to be, or that you want to be better than you have been.
Yes.
So, to admit to yourself, we've all written books, like all three of us here, we've written books. But I think that, I think sometimes when you tell a person that they need to be transparent, they think that, we're expecting for them to tell the world. I think the stigma of mental illness, and it comes from the fact that I believe a lot of people feel that the world is now going to think that they're weak, that they are not,
true.
they're not strong, and that the world is going to know all of their business.
Crazy.
But right, that they're crazy. But here's the reality of it. If you are seeing a mental health professional, I'm not talking about, someone that does coaching or, life coaching. That's not a mental health therapist. Someone who is trained in mental health, someone who, they don't even have to be licensed, but for someone that is licensed or psychologist or psychiatrist, someone who's going to be able to prescribe medication, and of course, they have to be at a certain level. But you want to, when you're dealing with unresolved issues of, molestation, rape, family dysfunction, these are things that need to be dealt with, and discussed through a therapist of a mental health professional, not a life coach. I think a lot of times people get confused between those two things.
Break it down for us.
There are some similarities, but when you're dealing with your mental health, just as you would if you have, if you have diabetes or you have high blood pressure, you're going to see a medical doctor.
Right.
You're not going to, you're not going to see an acupuncturist for that. There are certain specialties for, not to minimize, a person who does acupuncture, but it's two totally different things. So when you're dealing with someone who is a life coach or a business strategist, or, they're helping you to get, your business in order, helping you to promote and market yourself, helping you to put some goals into place for as far as your profession and your educational goals. That's usually what, a life coach does. They help you weed through a bunch of different things that may distract you from reaching your personal and or professional goals or educational goals. They are not helping you with your mental well-being. They're not helping you with the psychology of actually what makes you who you are. Right. They're not working, They're not working with you on, issues that you've had since childhood. They're not working with you because your father has been absent in your life or you don't know who he is. You know what I mean? They're not working with you on these things. You need a mental health professional to help you with that. If you have post-traumatic stress disorder, if you have alcoholism or drug addiction, you're not working with a life coach. You are working with a mental health professional, a psychologist or a psychiatrist. So it's imperative that we understand the difference between the two.
Yes.
And then once we realize that, and we should know, I strongly believe that whether male or female, when you are able to admit and own up to the areas in which you need help, you are able to be transparent about the fact that you're not 100% perfect, because there is no such thing. I think that there is strength in being able to do that. When I see a man who admits that he has areas or weaknesses, that exudes strength to me. To see a man, you know what I mean? A man has to be very confident to be able to cry in front of other men, because that lets me know that I'm human, he's human, and he cries, he has emotions just like everybody else. So the same thing happens when we talk about mental illness, mental health. And there is no such thing as being weak when you admit that you have a mental illness.
Woo. You said the same thing. I mean, we could go on and on about this topic. Oh my
yes,
goodness.
I could talk about this for days.
Yes.
Yes.
And I hate that we're like at CB's inspiration. There goes the music. CB.
Yes. Yes. And I chose this inspiration solely off of the topic today, and it's about happiness. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. And that is something that I had to work on because I had to get to a place where I stopped saying, well, I'll be happy once I'm over this, or I'll be happy once I get a man, or I'll be happy once I finish school, or I'll be happy once I buy my house, or I'll be happy once I buy my first car. No. Let's be happy now.
Yeah.
Because then going forward to reach those different goals, to become that different version of yourself, you have to be happy. You have to have complete happiness. Because if you get the guy, the husband, the car, and the minute it leaves or it disappoints you, you're back down into depression. You're back down into stress because you never were really whole within oneself moving forward before you got all those things.
Yes.
So I thought that was perfect for today.
I definitely agree and can relate in so many ways, but I'm going to save it for later.
Yes, ma'am.
Because right now, it's time for our Wonder Woman of the Week.
Which we love.
I wonder who it is.
We love.
Wonder Woman of the Week. And why not, or why should it not be Dr. Shiela D. Williams?
She's the
So,
perfect
Dr.
woman for
Shiela
today.
Williams, you are our Wonder Woman of the Week.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and so we just want to know, I see your page, obviously, very
We both
close to
do.
you. Yes. And so
Thank you.
I see what you're doing. We see what you're doing. It's so many things. I want to shut up now and just let you tell the world, like, who is Dr. Shiela D. Williams, and what are you bringing to the table in the community of changing life?
And don't forget how to get that awesome book.
Yes, that too.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you. I'm excited to be the Wonder Woman of the Week. I don't think I've ever been Wonder Woman, but I will take the title and I will wear it well.
Yes.
Thank you. So who am I? I am an author. I am an author of the critically acclaimed best-selling memoir, My Mother's Keeper. And it is available directly through my website, which is www.drsheiladwilliams.com. Or, of course, you can purchase it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Walmart.com, ChristianBooks.com, and Zulon Press.
I know that's
well.
right. See, we got to
I'm
get it
very
together.
excited about
Yes.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very excited about my Mother's Keeper.
That's awesome.
I also, thank you. I just, by popular demand, it was requested numerous times over and over again that I also create audiobooks. And I have released the audiobook to My Mother's Keeper as well.
Ooh.
And it is available on Audible, iTunes, and as well Amazon. And of course on my website, www.drsheiladwilliams.com.
That's so
As I
awesome.
stated before, I was very transparent about my life because so many people, they saw the accolades, they saw my accomplishments and had not realized that there was a process for me to get to where I am.
Amen.
So they see Dr. Williams and they see, the degrees and the professional experience and all of the accolades. But I needed to be transparent, not only for myself. It was therapeutic and it was healing for me to write the book, but it was very important for me to tell my story because I want people to know that mental illness is real. I want to be the example and the voice for so many that feel that they have no voice. And I wanted to make sure that people know as well that regardless of anything that they may be going through presently or anything, traumatic experience, unresolved issues, anything that they've experienced in the past, they can still accomplish their goals.
Now,
So that is ultimately, yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off because you
No,
be
you're
going
not.
you be going in, and I hate cutting you off.
Yes,
But
yes.
my producer just gave it that finger like 1 minute. And so I want you to be able to tell the other things. Like, I think you have a show. You're like, you do Facebook Live. Like, I want you to knock those out
Yes.
before we go to break. So can you
Okay.
tell us about those too? And y'all
Yes,
get
of
that
course.
book. Get that book, y'all.
Yes.
Yes, get the book. Well, you can obviously see I speak a lot. So I am a internationally certified speaker.
Yeah.
If you go to my website, it will
need that
tell you
title.
everything else that I do, but I also do training, and I am a coach. I am also a radio show host of my own, of the Dr. Sheila Show, and as well a TV show host. But all of this is illustrated on my website. Again, author, speaker, trainer, coach, radio show host, and TV show host. But the biggest thing is I am an advocate for overall health. And I ultimately help individuals go from where they currently are to where they ultimately need to be. So if you go to my website, everything's there, drsheladwilliams.com.
Wow.
She knocked it out the
Do
ballpark.
I have like 10 more seconds? Okay, so I don't even know how to tackle that. I'm just going to let that just sit there and marinate with everyone. DrSheilaDWilliams.com. And in addition to that, don't you have a Facebook page about being intentional for women?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I do. I love this page. I created this page, again, because a lot of women were saying, Sheila, how do you do it? Dr. Sheila, how do you do it? Tell us how you do it. You're an example for so many women. And I said, I came up with this thought. I know for a fact you have to be intentional about everything you do in life, because just going about things, and my brother says, willy-nilly, you won't reach your goals. So I created the Facebook group, Intentionally Accomplished Women. It is for women only. And it is to encourage, inspire, motivate. I give you words of wisdom. I give you statistics. I give you facts. I give you information and just encouragement to let you know that you can accomplish your goals in spite of anything that you're currently going through or anything that you have experienced in the past. As women, we often wear a mask. And my goal is for you to remove that mask and be true to who you really are.
And with that being said, we are going on break, y'all.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
What I'm talking about love. Talking about love and happy, yeah. Talking about love and happiness. Love and
Yeah.
All right, now.
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, we've been off, and she took some lessons or something. Hey, you get a high five right there. You did that one.
A little lavender. breathing
Yes.
in.
I mean, she wasn't flat. She wasn't sharp. She was right there. I think that was what? D?
Yeah.
D? Okay.
D flat, something like
D.
that.
Okay. Gotcha. So y'all know what that means when you hear that sound. It's the segment on love and relationships here on the Lemon Squeeze Show.
Yes.
And I am your host, JoJo Knows.
And I am your co-host, Constance B.
You know what? We need to shout out our sponsors.
Yes,
so shout
we
out
do.
to our sponsors, Journey Pure.
And Retreat Premier Addiction Treatment Center.
Girl, you be rocking that.
Yes.
Yes. And you know you are tuned into WPSN99.com. And what are we? We are the Problem Solving Network, baby.
Yes, you got a problem, we'll fix it.
And where we stream solutions.
I know
That's
that's
right.
And we cannot forget our special guest today. I mean,
Wonder Woman.
and Wonder Woman. Thank you. You know, and at first she was just gonna be like with us for the first topic, and then
she was
talked
like, no, honey, I'm gonna be there
I'm
for
gonna
the
hang
whole
out with
show.
yes, I'm gonna hang out with y'all.
And we was like, yes.
yes, honey. You know, especially on this segment, we need a doctor. You know, because
Yes, because me and you together.
woo. So Dr. Shiela D. Williams, you know, our topic today for love and relationships. Let's just go on in. I bust the windows out his car, and he put me in jail. How can a man love me and he put me in jail? I don't know who want to start.
I can just like just say one thing, and I'm gonna let Dr. Sheila just go ahead and take that in. But I think he locking your crazy self up because he do love you, because you need a break.
What?
You need a break. You need a reality check.
He locked you up because he loved you.
Yes, once you lock him up, he come
He
whooping
locked
up on
you up because you scared him. He did not lock you up. Love don't. No.
It was a scared, like it was a scared love, like whoa. And then his life flashed before his eyes, and he was like, "No, but I love her though. But she gotta go on ice."
So love should have stopped him from sitting in
Dr.
jail.
Sheila, you go ahead and take over, honey, because I done said what I can say.
I don't
break
think
this
love.
down. Because I'm wondering what in the world did he do for you to get that
thank
upset
you.
to break his windows out?
The windows might have deserved to
No,
be broken.
Wait a minute.
Sometimes
Wait a
it
minute.
don't
Why
even
does it
take-
have to be his fault? I gotta
Sometimes
jump.
it don't even take much.
And this is right on time because Acrimony is in theaters.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna let you guys take this, and I'm gonna back out.
Yeah, you might want to tread lightly, Louis. I bust the windows out his car, and he sent me to jail. I personally, you know what I think? I think that you should know who you're dating. So when you start dating someone, you know if they have the police itch. You know what I mean? And so you knew your man was police calling material. And so you shouldn't have did something that would have caused him to call, the police on you.
You're
And then
right.
there's some brothers, we gon' when we get home, we gonna handle this.
And move forward.
And yes, move forward. But your man is dead in the paint and he ain't calling no popos on you.
Yeah.
And so shame on you that you dated the police.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you like you said, you'll know.
Don't get me wrong. You wrong for breaking out the windows.
Or showing up,
but I understand
places where you weren't invited.
I understand. That's ladies, I understand, and I'm not gonna incriminate myself. But there was a time in my life where a lot of things got broken. And so I
Fingers were
understand.
twisted. Because you put your finger in my face and I grabbed it and I twisted.
And I'm thankful I didn't go to jail. Thank you, Lord. But I knew I ain't dealing with no softy that's gonna call the police on me. When I got out, I'd probably be going back in there.
You know what? But that has to do with knowing the person and the like we all come with certain pressure. Like you apply pressure, he apply pressure, and if you can't take what he's given and he can't take what you giving, you might want to part because somebody gonna get called the police on.
Yes,
because you bring too much pressure.
Dr. Sheila.
This sounds like a chapter of all your guys' books, to be honest with you.
Yes. We might need to do a little three-way. So, what do you think about the man calling? I want to go there. About the man calling the police on the woman that he loves about a petty window. Like, it's insured. Like, why?
Right.
She didn't put her hands on him.
I think, I've been saying to dissect things a little bit too much. Again, I'm trying to figure out what happened as to why she got that upset that she had to break the windows out.
Let's say he cheated on her.
You see what I'm saying? So, I will say that you have to be careful. Like I say, yes, no man should put his hands on a woman, but I also believe that no woman should put her hands on a man either.
Yes,
so
that's true.
We have to know that for every action there is a reaction. Sometimes it's a reaction that we don't anticipate, and it's a reaction that probably should not happen. But something happened.
But
to make this woman bust your windows out.
Is the car considered him though? Because I feel like I spared you and hit the car. And the car we can replace. I didn't violate your personal space. I hit your vehicle.
That's true.
I think if he called the police on you, I think that at that point he's done with you. Like I feel for him to get to that point, because because you can work things out amongst each other.
If he's not done with her, she definitely better be
at that point. I think
if
he calls the police on you at that point,
you better leave.
Both of y'all should really just depart because
now you have to bond out. You got to get a lawyer. You have a
now this
case.
is on your record possibly.
Ooh,
it's a lot, and so if you can control yourself to not do that, and then he definitely couldn't. He can't deal with you anymore.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I think also to add to that is if it's gotten to the place where, we're laughing about it, but
it's serious.
If he's causing you that much anger to where you busting out windows, abort mission.
Yeah.
Because love is supposed to be.
Because next thing you know, you're going to be on that Snap channel and I'll be watching it eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich like,
I think it's also I think it's also important that I think that if you flip the script, I don't think that women should wait to, should not call the cops. I think in that respect, if a guy does bust out a female's windows, that might save your life, calling the cops. Yeah. I think it's one way the way we're looking at it right now. Mm-hmm. But I think if you flip that script, I'm a little bit worried about a guy that's able to bust out of windows and get that angry and get that aggressive. That guy might be a danger to you.
But you know what?
So I'm more concerned about that way.
But
both
you know
ways.
what, Louis? That is something really to bring up because I think that we do see it as a difference. Like when the woman busts out the windows, it's like, oh, she crazy,
there's a double
she
standard.
Tripping.
No.
But when the man does, like, oh, he gonna kill you.
No, I look at it in both ways. If as I know when I get angry, that's why I try to keep it down.
You know it's in you.
So if you done got that angry where you done bust out his windows, I mean, you are hot. If he comes out that house and you got that bat in your hand and he's coming close to you, you gonna swing.
See, and I'm
Yeah,
the
but I'm not
opposite.
calling the cops on you. I can handle you swinging a bat at me.
Not all men though.
See, and I'm the
Well,
opposite.
maybe.
Like, I 9 times out of 10, when I think back in my life, or if I bust out windows on somebody's car, like, say I did it right now, I would do it like more as a lesson. Like, oh, mother sucker, you tried me. Like, not like I want to kill him, but just like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. I know you love that BMW or whatever it is, and so I'm gonna bust out. Just being petty, really. Like, but it wouldn't be because I'm so fired up that.
But he doesn't know
I
that.
might
He don't know that.
hurt him.
Because he's like, I've never gone through this before. I've never had a woman go this far. And, my dad got killed by a woman that was scarred, or my cousin got, so it's a lot of
Or
different
he
ways.
just the police. Or he just soft and he like, oh my gosh, you could, and call the police. Like, and you do not do that. No, I'm just playing. Do what you feel. You feel like you need to call the cops. Like, do what you have to
you
do.
have to protect yourself. You can't listen to us because we don't know what's going on. We're just talking from our
And-
own personal experience.
No, and you know what? I can bring an experience here. When I was I 18? I was 18 and I dated this crazy guy. And he shot up my car one night.
See.
Because I wouldn't open the door. And, you guys are grown. I would never, ever do this again. But I end up still talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing it was shooting up my house and shooting at me. And, it escalated, like, to really bad where I had to relocate for me to live.
And
Like,
that's why people call the police on people
so-
because they done been through some
So,
stuff. And they're like, whoa, this remind me of such and such. Oh, heck
getting
no.
a flashback. Well, that might be why she bust out the windows out the car,
But
though.
that's what I'm saying. There's some individuals that because you don't call the police on, they know you're never going to do that, and therefore it continues to escalate.
Yeah.
But as a father of 2 daughters, what I would tell them is, you just call me first. Just call me. Make me that phone call, and then let me assess the situation at that point.
Uh-oh, I don't know.
Dr. Sheila, what do you think on this?
Oh yeah, I definitely feel I remove the double standard because I feel that if a woman puts her hands on a man, he needs to call the police. If a man puts his hands on a woman, she needs to call the police. If he busts out her windows, she needs to call the police. If she busts out his windows, he needs to call the police. I think that in society, I don't know. I just feel like in society we have too many double standards. And
That's true.
at some point
Now,
we
that
got to
is
remove
true.
them.
That is absolutely
Because
true.
it's not right. It's especially like, okay, we have our producer. He's the dad. But some people don't have their dad to call up. And then some people, like I
Right.
said, have
I
gone
would have
through
my daddy, but
traumatic
show me with my
situations
windows.
where it's like I know myself, like I've been through some crazy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And so now if you do anything that shows me that you're going to put your hands on me or you going, I'm not calling the law, but I'm moving myself away from you because I value my life. I'm working hard to accomplish things, and I don't need any person who cannot control themselves, even when I might have done something to really tick you off. I don't need you because you can't handle me because I'm going to continue probably to do things because I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm still a human being. So,
But
we
like,
just have to not be. You need to
Yeah,
go
no,
your
I-
way, and
I
I need
get
to go
that.
mine before the police get involved. And
I agree. I
Right.
agree with that. A little,
Yes,
I
yes.
definitely agree with that. But I'm like the delivered gangster, and so I don't feel like
that the delivered.
that might be my next book, y'all. Delivered.
I like that
Gangster.
title, by
You
the
know
way.
what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
It just came out, and so I personally, I hope I would never bust out a window.
I don't think you.
But
do
then
this
when you
addition to
think
your point in
about
life.
well, that's the thing, though. You remember them scars? We were just talking about scars.
Don't
and
hold me too high,
and
Constance.
somebody pushes you there, like, you might do it. And that's the reality. Like, I know there's a little something in me still that if I get so angry, like, with my man, or he does something disrespectful, like, I might bust out a window. But I also know he ain't calling the police on me. And I wouldn't be with no man who gonna call the police on me. Now, if I got to the point where, like, I am unsafe and I'm about to, like, kill him or something, then, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. Like, save yourself and save me, too, because I'm tripping, But, no, I don't want a police person. And if I did something to the point where... And this is where, to me, it's not a double standard, but it's on the opposite side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, if I really was super disrespectful or, I don't even know what I could think of to do because I would never do it. But he, like, hit the window. Like, I wouldn't call the police either. Like, just me personally.
Well, JoJo, I may not call the cops on you, but I'm gonna be staying at a Marriott that night. I
agree with that.
I am not
We
spending the
need
night
some
next to
space.
you for sure.
You know, we need some space, but
Yeah. Well, see, and then like in this instance, back when I was engaged, I can call, and I'm making it very short. Back when I was engaged, we were going through a lot already anyway, and emotions were just at its all-time high. And he got inside of his car. He had a Dodge Challenger. He got inside the Challenger. I was in the garage, and I said, "Okay, let's talk." He didn't want to talk. He rolled the windows up on me. And I hit the top corner of the windshield.
Oh, she gotta say she hit the
with
corner.
my hand. No, I did, because I was standing and I was like, because I was so
and
angry.
it shattered.
Well, it didn't shatter. It was a line that just went down. He was like, "You broke my windshield. You broke my windshield."
Do you think he should have called the police on you?
And I was like, I was so mad. And I'm cussing and screaming. I looked at my
She
hand.
hit it hard.
So you don't know like how angry. You don't know like.
But do you think he should have called the police on you?
No, because I didn't
Boom, there it
intentionally.
is. Dr. Sheila, she's on the fence. She always on the fence.
Look, but I didn't. It wasn't intentional.
So you over here with me.
You were like a rock in the road. You cracked a windshield.
And I was so angry.
Girl.
He was like,
Dang.
That's
"You hit my windshield."
girl.
You know, I may have to change my answer. If
Flex for the
Constance,
camera,
if
look.
Constance breaks my windows, I might call the cops on her. Now, I might have
He was
to.
like, "You gonna pay for it?" And so like, we ended up. But see, that
You're a
wasn't.
beast.
That wasn't like I'm finna go to his house and. It wasn't like that. It was more so or less
It
like
usually ain't like that.
you
Oh.
push me away, and I don't want you pushing me away.
Shh. You better start
This
wrapping
the one
up,
you
ladies.
scared of.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap up this show. So, do your closings.
I'm sorry. Dr. Sheila, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just listening.
She's gonna bake rack both of you. That's what she's gonna do.
Hey, Bangkok is
I
better
have
than
not
jail.
had, I have not had those experiences.
All right, you better close
No,
up
we
with
don't want
Dr. Sheila
either.
because we
We
got
do
to
not
wrap
want
it up.
either.
That's too funny.
Yes, well, Dr. Sheila, do you have any if you could say it in one sentence for love and relationships for our viewers and our listeners? We have a lot of
She's
fun
gonna say
with
"Get
this.
Jesus" is what she's gonna tell you.
What would you say?
I would definitely say get Jesus, but I would also say, get Jesus in your life. But I would also definitely say, whatever you do in life, you want to make sure that you are healthy. You're healthy. Your relationships are healthy. You're mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually healthy.
Yes.
When you realize that you're not in a healthy relationship, you need to make a change.
Yes, that's true. True that.
That is very
Well,
true.
we thank you so much, Dr. Sheila Williams, Dr. Sheila D. Williams, for just spending the day with us on the air. We love you. You are
Yes,
our
we
Wonder Woman
do.
of the Week, and we will continue
love
watching
you.
you and supporting you, everything that you're doing. Bye.
Thank you again.
I love you guys.
We
too.
love you
too.
Thank you.
Yes, and that is wrapping up our show here, Joe.
I know.
We had so
Wasn't
much
it?
fun. We had a
Wasn't
good
it so
time.
much fun?
We
And
did,
so just to
yeah.
wrap it around, like depression, if you feel depressed, we shared a lot of our own personal, experiences. But the important thing is if you feel different, if something is going on the inside, get help. And do not be ashamed to seek counseling, to find someone that you can talk to. It's so important, you guys. Like, do not allow depression to hinder your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, or just, ultimately take your life from you, because it can strip you from, in a matter of a dime. Love and relationships, you already know. Don't date anyone who's going to send you to jail, but also don't be in relationships where it's dysfunctional,
Right, that's the
And
major part.
you are busting out windows, and God forbid what else.
Right.
And so, hey, be healthy in your own lives. Be healthy in
Your relationship.
yes, and be healthy in achieving those goals.
All right.
And I'm your host, JoJo Knows.
And I am your co-host, Constance B.
And you're tuned into the Limit Squeeze Show here at WPSN99.com. We are what? The Problem.
Problem
Solving
Solving Network.
Bye, guys. Oh, yeah, don't forget. Be happy.
Yes.
Anyone else with a comment?
That's all there is. There isn't any more.